We're going deep on Android XR, and let me tell you, this isn't just about strapping on a headset and just like zoning out to some other reality. Think about this. What if your glasses, like your smart glasses, could give you info, right as you need it and translate stuff people are saying like right as they're talking, and even let you relive memories in 3D. That's what Android XR is about. It's going to like totally change how we use tech and how we experience the world around us. You know how sometimes tech kind of feels like a separate thing, like something you have to like pick up and use? Well, Android XR wants to make it like part of you, like an extension of your senses. And this isn't some sci-fi thing. This is happening right now because there's this powerhouse team that's making it a reality. Google, Samsung, and Qualcomm. They're all coming together to blend digital and physical. So you've got Google, they're like the software geniuses, right? And Samsung, they're amazing at making devices. And then you have Qualcomm with their super powerful chip. Put it all together. And that's where the magic happens. But here's the thing that really blows my mind. They're not just building the tech. They're also making an AI guide for this whole new XR world. And it's called Gemini. So picture this, right? You're walking through a city, it's crowded, you need directions. Gemini can like whisper them in your ear, guiding you through everything. Or imagine you're trying to read a sign, but it's in a language you don't know. Gemini can translate it right there where you're looking. It's like having a friend who knows everything right there with you, answering any question in real time. And it gets even cooler. Gemini doesn't just react to what you're doing. You can actually figure out what you need before you even ask. So like say you're looking at a bus, it's speeding by, and you're wondering, is that the bus to that new cafe I want to try? Gemini can recognize that exact bus, check its route, and tell you right away whether you should get on or not. It's not just giving you information, it's helping you decide what to do. Pretty wild, right? And that's just the beginning. We'll be back soon with more on the hardware they're building, like Samsung's Project Moohan, Google's prototype SmartGlasses. They're pushing the limits of what XR can do to make everyday life easier and a lot more interesting. So are you ready to see what this all looks like in action? Welcome back. Last time we were talking about how Android XR is going to change like everything. And I mean everything. Remember Gemini and that AI? Well, we've barely scratched the surface of what it can do. Think about like learning, right? What if instead of reading textbooks, you could actually go to ancient Rome, walk around with Roman soldiers, or even dissect a heart in 3D, all from your living room? That's the kind of crazy stuff Android XR is bringing to learning. And let me tell you, when you experience something that directly, it really sticks with you. Learning's great and all, but we need some fun too, right? And gamers, get ready, because Android XR is about to level up gaming. Imagine fighting zombies right there in your living room. You can feel them lunging at you, hear them groaning. Or maybe you're racing spaceships through your backyards, dodging asteroids, feeling the G-force as you turn. The line between the game and real life is about to get really, really blurry. And for those of you who like, just watching stuff, imagine watching a movie, but you're not just watching, you're in the movie. You're in the cockpit of a starfighter, dodging lasers, or you're in a haunted house, feeling the floor creak under your feet. That's the kind of power XR has for entertainment. And it's not just about new content. It's about taking stuff we already love and making it way more intense, way more real. But it's not all fun and games. Android XR could also be huge for things like healthcare. Imagine surgeons practicing surgeries on virtual patients before they ever operate on a real person. Or think about how XR can help people with therapy by giving them safe spaces to face their fears. It's tech with a purpose. And that's really awesome. Speaking of purpose, XR can be used for good in so many ways. Imagine experiencing the world through the eyes of someone living in poverty or walking in the shoes of a refugee. XR can make us more empathetic and help us understand each other in totally new ways. We haven't even tapped into a fraction of its potential. So, are you ready for the XR revolution? Because it's happening, whether you're ready or not. And trust me, you're going to want to be a part of it. We've been talking about all the amazing things Android XR can do, and it's seriously mind-blowing stuff. But before we get too carried away, let's take a minute and think about the downsides, because any tech this powerful, it's going to have some shadows, right? One of the big things people are worried about, and it's a legit worry, is privacy. Think about these devices. They're going to know so much about us. They'll know where we go, what we do, what our face looks like when we're happy or sad or whatever. It's basically like having a camera crew following us around 24/7, filming everything we do, which kind of makes you wonder who's going to have access to all that information, right? We need to be asking some tough questions about data security and like making sure these companies are being straight with us about how they're using our data, what data are they even collecting, and how are they protecting it from being misused or whatever. We gotta have these conversations now before Android XR becomes such a normal part of life that we lose control of our own information. And Privacy isn't the only thing we got to think about. Let's be real here. XR experiences are designed to suck you in, to make you feel like you're really there. That's what makes them so cool. But it can also be kind of dangerous. Like, imagine spending hours in a virtual world and forgetting about the real world, forgetting your responsibilities, your friends, even like taking care of yourself. It can happen. And just like with anything else, we got to be careful not to go overboard. We need to be smart about how much time we spend in XR and make sure it doesn't take over our lives. XR is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used in good ways and bad ways. It's up to us to decide how we use it and make sure it's making our lives better, not worse. Oh, and here's another thing that's kind of tricky. Accessibility, XR devices aren't exactly cheap right now. Not everyone can afford them, which means we could end up with this situation where only rich people get to experience all the cool stuff XR has to offer. That's not right. We need to make sure XR is affordable for everyone so everybody can benefit from this tech, not just a select few. But even with all these challenges, let's not forget how much potential Android XR has. We've talked about how it can change education, entertainment, healthcare. We've seen how it can bring people together, make us more understanding, help us see the world in totally new ways. It's pretty incredible when you think about it. We're at this crazy point in time, right at the beginning of something totally new. And the decisions we make now are going to determine what happens with this technology, how it affects our lives. It's up to all of us to stay informed, ask the hard questions, and demand that Android XR is developed and used responsibly.